today I have a special guest with me. I'm so excited. I'm kind of fangirling right now because I have Lauren here from the Braid Bar, and she is here to share with us what's in her kit.
So I found this on Amazon. I had a $200 one that took a nice tumble down a staircase in downtown Saint Augustine. And so I had to get a new one, and I found this one for $50 on Amazon.
$50, guys, because I know mine was almost $200. Yes.
It was maybe $60. It was very cheap. I'll leave it at that. And I'm not really the best with taking care of stuff, so I go through these pretty quick anyways, no matter how good you make them. So I'm fine with buying a new one every year, every other year. It came with a mirror, which was nice.
That's nice.
I also love the compartments. I have them organized with like big bobby pins, small bobby pins, gator clips in another one, scissors in another one, and then all my elastics are at the top so I can grab those quickly. And because I've kind of consolidated over the years, everything that I need fits in this smaller compartment. All right, so first thing in my kit is an extension cord, because you never know what you're gonna walk into. Here in St. Augustine, we have a lot of weird outlets and really hard places to get to, so always bring an extension cord.
Just toss it.
Just throw it, don't worry about it. I always have a blow dryer. One of my first weddings, I had a bridesmaid who was in charge of setting up the tables downstairs, and it was 3 flights of stairs, and by the time she got in my chair, she was dripping with sweat. So we just blow dry that in, no problem. But in Florida, it's really important because we have a lot of humidity. You want that hair bone dry before you even put a curling iron on it. And sometimes people have cowlicks, so blow dryer must have. Also, I use a heat protectant pad. You can kind of get these anywhere. But once again, we have a
You don't want to
lot.
burn anyone's.
Yeah. A lot, especially something like an 1800s, you know, secretary desk that's in an Air bed and breakfast in St. Augustine.
Yes.
So you got to protect their counters. And then the next thing that's in my kit is my texturizing powder. I think all of us in dry styling at this point have some form or fashion of a texturizing powder. This one is a little bit of a hack. It's $10 at Target. It's by Kristine S. And you're gonna get about 3 times as much as you get in Puff Me or Big Sexy. They're great, and I've had to go grab those when I've been in a pinch for different reasons. They work pretty much the same, but for those of us that are knocking out style after style and really need best bang for our buck, this is wonderful, and it's honestly my favorite. It's super thick and really heavy and gets the job done. So.
And is that colorless, with color?
Yeah, it's pretty much like a white powder that dissolves in the hair.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
The only downside is if you like how Puff Me sprays and you like how Big Sexy sprays, this one you have to angle it down and tap. So I'm literally like, all right, well, let's tilt your head a little bit to the side. Do, do, do. The second thing is going to be a bobby pin magnetic bracelet. When you are putting together your finishings for your updos, you can plop all of your bobby pins on it, and you have access to them much quicker. Of course, our comb, self-explanatory. I carry these. I rarely use them, but let's say you have a bride or somebody who doesn't have a ton of hair and they want like a really full updo. These are great, and I actually cut them to pieces, so I don't keep them intact a lot of the time. I'll simply use them as a filler, which is why I also have hair cutting scissors for different types of things, but I will cut these kind of like in half and almost take them apart sometimes because this would be an odd shape. Sometimes I use them to fill entire heads.
So you would use that the whole thing, but go like that. Okay.
To maybe put it under a braid. You know, if you see something in the back where, if you see a lot of those updos where pieces are pinned, or let's say it's like a braid and it looks super full, but that person doesn't have a lot of hair, most of the time it's because the stylist braided the hair and then laid it on top of one of these so that it would look more full.
That's good to know.
Yeah. Don't be fooled, guys.
Don't be fooled.
It's all a hack.
She's got all the secrets.
All a hack. And then I always carry hair cutting scissors because I found that a lot of people, you know, we're dealing with normal girls. You know, they're not hair models. they don't have thousands of layers in their hair. So when you do an updo or even like a half up, half down look and they want those face framing pieces, most of the time they've got one length. And if they have really long hair, those pieces in the front are going to be super long and super weighed down around their face. I think I've only been told one time that they did not want their pieces in the front cut. But I'm not cutting a ton of hair. You're literally cutting like, you know, that much off, but a very thin amount just to help frame the face. So I always have these for that reason, so that I can make sure that it's like a polished look as opposed to just stringy pieces around their face.
And sometimes I tell them that it doesn't look good that long, super long.
Right,
So.
yeah. And they want to frame their face so that it looks, you know, flattering.
Right.
And long stringy pieces, not so flattering. And then bobby pins, I literally have every color, every size. I predominantly use elastics. I do not use a ton of bobby pins.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, bobby pins for me are for placement. They are not for structure.
Okay.
You know, I mean, you're raging at a reception. Your hair's not going to hold together if you got a bunch of bobby pins in it.
Exactly.
And so I find that that's why I like to use elastics, because it's, if there's a way for me to create a braid or anything like that and then finish it with an elastic to then hide it with a bobby pin or have it, the base of it be a ponytail and then pull that apart, it's going to hold up a lot longer and stronger than if I did a couple little loops with bobby pins. Even the lock I find is great, but I still like to have some type of foundation with elastics. So.
Okay, so you'll do the elastic first, and then if you have to, you'll bobby
I mean,
pin.
I always use bobby pins, but it's definitely towards the end.
Okay.
There's a few looks where I'll use a bobby pin in, let's say, like the poof, but even then there's some type of an elastic underneath it that it's anchored to.
Okay.
And then all of that is covered up. So favorite hairspray is because of Stephanie Brinkroff. She's a very, very famous hairstylist, and she is predominantly bridal. She was even like the New York Fashion Week's bridal hairstylist a couple years back, and she's a Kenra junkie. She is one of their ambassadors. She's one of the ones who inspired me to start doing bridal hair. Her looks are just so effortless and romantic. She uses quite a bit of hairspray, but it never looks crunchy or hard. And that's one of the reasons that I love Kenra. And Kenra 25 has won so many awards for hold. I joke and say it's our generation's Aquanet.
Yes, I agree.
Like with my grandmas or my mom, you know, they're like, what is that? And I'm like, have you ever heard of Aquanet? And they go, well, yes, I have. And I'm like, it's our generation's version of Aquanet.
Yes.
So curling iron wise, I have about 4 different sizes.
Okay.
I used to spend, I spent a lot of money on this one brand that has a lifetime warranty on the curling iron, and it was over like $200 for the curling iron. It was a great curling iron. Didn't do anything different than my other curling irons, but I had to return it 4 times. Because within 60 days, or within a year, it would die. And I was literally replacing it every year because we use these things like all the time, and they're on for hours at a time.
Yeah.
And so you don't want the ones that have an auto shut off because you'll be in the middle of a look. That's why you want to spend a little bit more money on your curling irons. But I think this one was $35. And it's a Paul Mitchell, and I've also done Hot Tools. And I've done Marcel's and things like that, and I do love like the titanium finish versus the ceramic. I do have a ceramic one for people with more delicate hair, but I carry like 3 or 4 different sizes so that I'm kind of prepared. The 1-inch barrel I would say is my most used with a clamp. I do carry a wand. This is the only wand that I have though. This is a curl bar. It's fun. Also because you bring it out and everybody's like, oh my gosh, I've never seen anything like that before. So that's fun, a little fun conversation starter. But this one's great for those boho looks where those brides and bridesmaids have really long hair and they want the curl all the way from their root to the end. You can fit all their hair on this. Heats up to 450, heats up in 5 seconds, which is really amazing.
All right. So I hope you guys enjoyed Lauren's hair kit, and I know a lot of people are very curious. I was really curious before walking in here. I was like very excited to see what her kit looks like, and it's very simple. And like what she said earlier, it's like as the time goes, the longer you do this, the more you realize you don't need to use a lot of things. So I love how simple her kit is, and thank you for sharing it with us. So thumbs up if you like this video, share this video to everybody that might find this video helpful, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Bye.